Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we did talk about what is network security, and we check those. Intrusion detection management tool dictionary. So I think we may start from a dictionary attack. So what's the dictionary attack? So we are learning network security. So network security is basically using the network's vulnerability and network's architecture, and there must be a vulnerable point. Even you have a strong defense system, okay? People using it, and if that method is known, then people can attack it, which means you have to have your defense mechanism. So what's the dictionary attack? So I know you use the some password, right? So password is somehow saved in the computer. Okay, if it is leaked, that is a big issue. But these days we don't save as a plain text. Okay, we do some cryptography and make it invisible and like a random error. So what is a good password for you? Good password doesn't, which the text doesn't exist in the dictionary. That is a number one recommendation, because if everybody using a same format or similar password, then the attacker is easy to attack, right? Something like a password, PASSWRD, that's the good, or something like 12345. Okay, the sequence number or the password you want to use, and maybe your birthday is a very vulnerable point too. Okay, so you should keep your password as a random junk. Okay, something like SDFO 835F is a good password. Why? Because it's very safe from the dictionary attack and something like this. So we have to understand what is a good password, what is a good password, and we have to make sure your password is hard enough and easy to remember. So we call the fantabulous password. So what is fantabulous password? Ever thought about it? Any idea? What's the fantabulous password? It should be memorizable to you. Then it could be applicable to like common places, like your Amazon account, your Google account. It should be similar, right? But it should be a little different, but it should be similar. Then you can remember properly. So you know in Korea, the Interpark is the one of the shopping mall. They leaked about 10,000 password. Long time ago, we didn't have any encryption password recording. So they record the password as a plain text, and that plain text is leaked, and your password is leaked. And Target in US, they leaked more than 30,000, and they have to pay you in somehow. So Interpark was like convicted as a 300,000 won per account, but now it is reduced to 100,000 per account. I don't know they will actually pay or no, but it didn't happen. So you can find your leak information. Is your password leak or no? Then you can find it on Google. So your Google account, password leak. So I don't want to show my account, but you can confirm is your password leaked or no. I'm sure some of your password is leaked. So in my case, not the password checkup. So good password is hard to remember. I don't even remember. I can't even remember my password. Okay, I can't remember the password. But if you type your own password and go to the accounts on the Google password, and you can find your leaked information. Testing, so I believe it is secured position because it is the Google. So you are accessing to your account every day, right? So critical issues, third-party privacy checkup. Then by clicking this, you can confirm your password is leaked one. So save password your devices, recent devices, and you can keep checking it. It is feasible because Google has everything. So now Naver is trying to whale, and they are poke version of the Google Chrome and customized to the Korean users. All right. So DOS, I think we talked about the DOS. And SYN flood. We talked about SYN cookie and SYN flood. Okay. Okay, I think we talked about this. And this is SMERP attack. SMERP attack meaning there's many small computers are compromised and attacking to the others. So SMERP is source IP address of the broadcasting ping is forced, meaning it is contaminated, and they keep creating the ping messages to anyone without knowing the source IP. Meaning, if the attacker, if I am the defender, if I block the source IP, it doesn't work because it is using the using the different source IP they are using. Okay, they keep sending me wrong messages, contaminated source IP, then keep sending me a ping. So I have a responsibility to respond to the ping. Okay, then I cannot do anything because I have to respond so many pings. Okay, so a long time ago, it was a ping was the easiest way to confirm your computer is alive or not. But nowadays, most of servers, most of the CDN is not responding to the ping because of the known attack, the SMART. So large number of response back to the victim by overloading it. So DOS, so this is the perpetrator is attacking it, and these three computers are. So I'm sending ping messages or echo messages. Whoever received this should be respond to me. So perpetrator change the IP address of me from the source IP like these guys. So source IP like this one. So let's say I know the victim. Let's say I know the victim's IP addresses. Then if I know the victim's IP address, I'm forge my source IP to the victim's IP address, then asking ping of these guys. And these guys will respond to the ping. Will respond to the ping. Will respond to the ping. Then victim is keep receiving the ping messages. Okay. Then this is the one of the ICMP based echo message DOS. And there is a DDoS. DDoS is distributed system with using your bot. So bots are the contaminated zombie computers. So in fact, a large number of machines with the zombie program, and zombie program logs into the IRC channel and awaits the commands. Okay, so something like a new command are coming, then they are executing this one. So you are doing ping 10,000 times for these addresses. So this file is huge file, and 64K packets per host 10,000 times. And if I have thousands of the hosts which are contaminated, then your computer will go down easily. Okay. So, and the many cases in 2001. So I was a victim of this one. So in 2001, July 19, over 359,000 computers were infected by code red, less than 14 hours. And Korea network was shut down because of this. So use the recently known buffer exploded in Microsoft and IIS, Internet Information Services. Damage is estimated exceeds 2.6 billion. So Code Red is launched a DDoS attack against White House from the 20th to 28th every month and spend the rest of its time in infecting other hosts. So you keep growing over the 2/3 of the months, and for the 1/3 of months, you keep attacking the White House. So White House is a pure number one target, because they have a nice defense mechanism, and there's a nice defenders, and whoever who want to attack, they are trying their mechanism to the White House. If you're caught, you'll pay what you did. Okay, so how can you protect ourselves? So ingress filtering, meaning you're blocking everything except your known. Okay, so if the source IP packet comes from an interface which does not have a route to that packet, then drop it. Meaning, if the packet is not clear enough to process it, I'm dropping it. And stay on top of CERT. CERT is the Computer Emergency Response Team advisory and the latest security patches. So keep updating your Windows, keep updating your Mac OS, keep updating your virus scan. Okay. So a fix for the IIS buffer overflow was released 16 days before the code red, meaning if I update it properly, I won't be a victim. Okay, if updated your routers properly, then that network won't be damaged. Okay, so TCP attack. So new attack. So recall how TCP works. TCP is basically the 3 handshake and the start to sending a messages, right? So end host create the IP packets and route process them purely based on destination and address alone, meaning the end host may lie about the field which do not affect delivery. So source address host may trick the destination into believing that the packet is from the trusted source. Then I'm keep sending my messages. Okay, but your message is not allowed, but you pretend that someone the target trust. So a special application which IP addresses simple authentication method. So use better authentication, something like HTTPS and Chrome OS, and many authentication steps. Okay, so TCP attacks have associated state, the starting sequence number and port number. If the attacker learns these values, then port number is sometimes well known to the beginner. Sometimes the HTTP is 8080, HTTPS is 8080, and sequence numbers are sometimes very predictable. So how can you solve this? Okay, so this is the example of the TCP attacks. Let's say I have Alice, Bob. She's Alice and Bob and Big Ear. Say Alice and Bob has established the TCP connection, meaning they trust each other. Then Mr. Big Ear lies on the path between Alice and Bob, the network. He can intercept all of their packets. Let's assume that Mr. Big Ear knows the information. Okay, so first, Big Ear must drop all of the Alice packet, since they must not deliver to the Bob. If the Alice try to send it to the Bob, okay, so Mr. Big Ear try to be, oh, I'm in the middle, send me a packet and I'll forward it. Okay, then receive all the packets from Alice, then drop it all of it. Why? Why do you need to drop it? No idea? What if it is delivered? If it is delivered, then he will reply to this guy and then up. right? So Alice is waiting for response. Then I have no chance to reply. So drop it first, then send the new package to the Bob. So Mr. Bigger sends his malicious packet with the next ISN, initial sequence number. So he's expecting a sequence number. Then if I listen from Alice, I drop it. I'm using her sequence number. Then I pretend I know your IP address, I know your port, I even know your ISN, the sequence number. Then the Bob will deceive. Then they're receiving the packet, and inside the packet there is a smub and malicious the information. So what if the Mr. Bigger is unable to snip the packet between Alice Bob? Then just drop the DOS, just DOS Alice instead of dropping her packet. Okay, just send guesses and ISN until it is accepted. Meaning that is poor step of the attack. But if I know, as I know more and more information, I can attack more precisely and with the high probability. So how do you know when the ISN is accepted? So payload, then self to roast, meaning I'm keep monitoring the ISN numbers in between two of them. So you can type the X term minus display, Mr. Big Ear is 0, meaning then they will let you know the ISN numbers in the middle. What is the sequence number is flying. Okay. So why are these type of TCP attacks so dangerous? If the web client and malicious users and trusting web client, meaning something coming from you trust, okay, web server. Web servers keep giving you a service. In the middle, try to give you the service, like a bank. Malicious users just pretend the bank. Then web client deceived by this guy and keep sending all the information related to the bank. Okay. If your account is very low, it's not dangerous. But if you are rich enough, and if your account is your company's, then it's very dangerous. So how can you prevent this? So IPsec is provide source authentication, so the Mr. Bigger cannot pretend to be Alice. Encrypt the data before transport, so Mr. Bigger cannot talk to Bob without knowing what the session key is. And the next attack mechanism is packet snipping. So recall how the Ethernet works. Let's say someone just wants to send the packet to someone else, and they put the bits on the wire and destination with the wrong MAC addresses, and remember the other host listening to the wire, and this, so it couldn't get any easier to figure out the what data is being transmitted over the network. Meaning, your SDR has the ability to the packet snipping. So if your computer was to come up with the Wireshark and the SDR, then you can snip the data which is not encrypted over the air. You can test it, and there's many source codes for this. But it's hard to attacking it, but snipping is possible. So this works wireless, and it works any broadcast mechanism. Something like the radio, something like a broadcasting of DMB, it works too. So what kind of data can you get if we can snip? So what kind of information is useful to the malicious users? Your bank account, your money, and your report, right? So answer could anything answering in the plain text. If your message is not encrypted, then they can attack your plain text based on the plain text. So how can you prevent this? So SSH, not telnet. So if you're using telnet, which is working at the plain text, we can't trust. So SSH, meaning your every message is encrypted, okay, with the 128 byte. 128 bit. So HTTP over SSL, which is HTTPS. All your bank, all your transaction with the money and the credit card, it is using SSL. So SFTP is not FTP, but I'm using the secured FTP. So all your messages are encrypted. So IPsec provide a network layer confidentially. So SUNY Korea has the network authority somehow. They prevent this in the server mechanism, but they don't serve in the user level. Whoever you connect it to the IP, a wireless IP or wired IP. So, but if you're using the server room, then IPsec is very secure. So social problem. So why this computer system is social problem? Because we trust and we are using this. Okay, so most human will break down once they are at the hum stage, unless they have especially trained. So it is easy to break someone's mind. Okay, someone's mental. Okay. So for example, hey, I'm your KT representation. I'm stuck on the pole. Stuck on a pole, meaning while you are installing someone in the mechanic is trying to install the internet wire on top of some pole, right? I need your punch a button for me. Then what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even your message is encrypted. They can understand what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, and what is 4. By knowing this, they can predict your hash key. They can predict your SSL sequence. Okay, if they have a huge, long SSL book, the one is that, meaning you are using 35th SSL sequence. Meaning, if you are trying to do the bank, then they know your sequence type. Okay, they could expect the easily. They can estimate your password. Example 2. Someone in the middle of the night. So have you calling Egypt for the last 6 hours? Oh, I can say, oh no. Then, well, we have a call that actually activate right now. It's on your calling card, and it's to Egypt. And as a matter of fact, you've got 2,000 worth of the charges on your credit card. Then read off your KT card number and PIN. Then I will get rid of it. This is a very plain, very famous attack by using the human. And problem example 3 is who saw an office space. In the movie, the 3 disgruntled employees installed a money stealing worm onto the company system. And they did this inside of company where they have full access to the company system. So security. So let's say you are hired in the company. Okay, then you install some password inside of your computer, meaning you are in the intranet. Then that program and access to everyone, then collect crawl all the information. Then your whole network is compromised. Okay, so Office Space is the movie, and there aren't always solution for all of the problem. Meaning you have to be cautious. Even the solution is not. Okay, so the best that can be done is implement a wide variety of solution, but more closely monitor who has access to that resource and information. So internet works only because we implicitly trust others, and it's very easy to explore this trust. The same holds true for all the software. It is important to stay on top of the latest search security advisory to know how to patch any security patches. Okay, this is the security related URLs. You can check it, and whatever we talk today there's full text in there. Okay. So let's talk about, let's finish in here. Let's talk about from the team 1, David Hanmin, and team 2, Jungmin and team 3, Jaewon Yeun, team 4, Minheng Hojin, team 5, Roshan Ulbek, and team 6, Janar, team 7, and Yeonshik and Seungjae. Okay, you may start to talk. So team 1, Can you start at the 11:10? Let's have a 2-minute break while you guys are preparing. Ready? Okay, I'm ready. You may start.
Okay. Do you want me to turn my cam on?
Oh, up to you.
Okay. Okay. I'll start. Hi, my name is Hamin Lim, and my team member is David Cha. Today, I'm going to talk about CSC 310 final project about mini RF jammer and FM radio receiver. So I'm going to present about what we have done so far and what our problem is and maybe possible solution for the problem and stretch goal for our maybe in the future. So for the mini RF dimmer, so currently we have installed a driver for Atom and Pluto on Windows and Ubuntu. So I'm working on Windows 10 and David is working on Ubuntu 20.04. And we installed the libio and GNU radio. So we also installed the modmap map on Ubuntu. So we just follow the direction from the Git document. So the issue is that we cannot execute the flow graph at the moment. So for the possible reason for this is open source file is not compatible with the Pluto SDR, and the libio is not maybe properly configured or installed. So we might need to figure out what to do with this in later. So this is just the GRC file that we opened up and try to work with it.
Okay, so one comment. We also have a HackRF. If you want to test it, you can check out the HackRF for me.
Okay, that's great. So it says we couldn't find the Qt platform plugins in the Windows. So we are going to try this on Ubuntu later on. And for the FM radio, so what we have done so far is using GNU Radio Companion. So we're trying to set the Pluto SDR to receive the FM signal. So the issue is GNU Radio Companion cannot detect the Atom and Pluto. So we might have to find the other way to solve this problem. So, and the Companion does not have GNU GUI block for the Pluto SDR for source or the sink. So we cannot really find like what to do with that. So we're still looking for the solution. And the author of the open source is you use the RTL SDR instead of Atom and Pluto. So Pluto is not Osmocomb driver compatible. So for the possible alternative solution for this, and we connect the Atom and Pluto with SDR Angel and try to transmit the frequency with that, and or use the GQRX that is installed with the GNU radio to connect the Atom and Pluto, because GQRX supports Pluto SDR and it has the FM radio as built-in. So these are just the error messages that we are getting. It says unable to create local IIO context. We when we put the command prompt here, it can detect the device, but we are not sure with the error message over here.
So
yes.
So the best recommendation for this is I also have RTR SDR. If you want to check out from me, you can check out. But the best recommendation is using the known OS version, something like Ubuntu 6.0, 6.04. If there's someone on the internet or someone says it was very successful with that version, then that is the best recommendation. And using the latest one, they may always face some issues. And we usually waiting for the patches are available for that person. Okay. So the best way to do is using the non Ubuntu version. So Ubuntu is the easiest way to do it. Okay. And if you're using VM virtual machine may create some issues. So using the OS with the non the OS version, that's the best recommendation. The hardware you mentioned, RTR SDR, the HackRF, we do have. our department has it. So if you want to test it, you can test it.
Okay. So this is the what I have done for the FM radio signal that was on the document. I just followed the YouTube video and I compiled this flowchart with GRC file, and this is the alternative open source for the Pluto SDR. So we just need to find a way to get this Pluto SDR source GUI and the Pluto SDR sync GUI. So, and for this slide, I did compile it, but it says it cannot find the device address. It cannot detect the device. So we also have to figure this out in the future. And for the stretch goal for this project, and we can learn and try to how to jam with other frequency like Bluetooth or 5G. And we can build a system that send and receive certain radio signal using SDR like walkie-talkie. And we can try with different SDR devices such as Blade RF or Heck RF or RTL SDR, and try with another framework like GQRX. And we can intercept signals between devices like what we have talked about in the class. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for Hanmin. Any question about the Hanmin's talk? No. All right. Thank you, Hanmin. You did a great job. Okay, let's do the team 2. Team 2 is Jungmin and Tim. You may take over.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Do you also see both of the screens, the left and
Yes,
the right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Different monitors. So I'll get started. So our team did not go far as Hamins and David's group, definitely. But here's our brief overview of what we've prepared for the project 1. We basically describe what it is, like as written in the document. So I wrote, there are cases when wireless systems needs to be forcefully shut down. For instance, in the military or other places that require limiting the use of wireless systems, such means is necessary. Radio frequency jamming is one of the simple methods that defeat wireless systems, and it can forcefully disable wireless connections of nearby devices by that use radio frequency. It does so by jamming overpowering signals to devices nearby, which drowns out the regular wireless frequencies. And I also mentioned that the act of jamming is illegal. Therefore, we'll be demonstrating in a simple case of disabling our mobile devices Wi-Fi connection and LTE connection. And for the project, we shared the given open source GitHub link, and in doing so, following the instructions, currently we were setting up with GNU Radio on our machine, specifically on Windows 10. And the last time we were setting it up, there were minor problems with setting it up because on Windows 10 it wasn't really super compatible. And the future plans and the expectations is that maybe we could try making a room full of RF jammers where accessing this room will automatically disable any wireless network. And this will be useful in wireless restricted rooms or areas. And that's the project number 1. And now Chungmin will share the number 2.
So for the number 2 FM radio receiver, also I share the given open source code, and then we got unexpected errors when we started downloading the software. So we are gonna solve that problem in the future. And also, I got difficulties in detecting the Adam Pluto. So also we are gonna figuring out how to solve it. So our future plan will be like getting a signal using SDR and passing it through a low pass filter and FM demodular and outputting it in on PC's sound card as like open source code. So yes, I also share the summary of the step-by-step tutorial. So that's all for
So, so
Thank
for all of you, the two example project is not difficult to do. Okay, the open source is there. It's about how you're configuring properly. Okay,
Right,
if you
right.
spend the time, then it will be doable. Okay.
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 All right. Thank you, Tim and Jungmin.
Mm,
Does anyone has a question to them? So best recommendation is choose the right OS first. So Ubuntu 16.0 is the best recommendation, I believe. And the easiest is the starting point. Okay, if you're using the VM on top of the Ubuntu, on top of the Mac, VM on top of the Windows, it will create some issues. Okay, in the future, even they created very well. So if you don't have enough software or enough hardware to test those, and you can check out from me. I have enough hardware too. All right, thank you, team 2. Team 3. Team 3
Yep.
is Jaewon and Yeon.
Yes.
Yep.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hello. I am Jaewon, and my teammate is Yeon Son, and we'll present you our progress for the project. We first installed the driver and IIO library from the info when we connected Pluto SDR to our computers. And we tested the installation by the code below, but when we tested it, we got the same error as Hamin did. When you see the red underline, it says unable to create local IIO context. So we weren't really sure what that means, so we just kept on going. And below the info, when we saw the frameworks for the Adelum Pluto, we first thought GNU Radio does not support Windows, so we went for SDR Sharp, and we were successfully able to connect Pluto SDR and get FM signal for it. But when we found out later, the code does not support SDR Sharp, only supports GNU Radio. So we installed GNU Radio again. And when we first installed it with version 3.8, we weren't able to get the red circle part where it supports IIO. So we couldn't connect with the Pluto SDR. And later, so we tried it with virtual machine because we didn't have Ubuntu installed on our computer. So, but as you said, there were lots of errors when we tried it with virtual machine. I don't know if it's because of the size of memory, but we couldn't really download GNU Radio with all the components with it. So we went back on the Windows again. We did find GNU Radio version that supports IIO, but it was version 3.7, not 3.8. So when we implement the code on GitHub, there was error message that it could not find a module PyQt5, and later we found out it was only supported on GNU Radio version 3.8. But Windows Windows version that supports IIO is only 3.7 supports IIO for the Windows version. So for the solution, maybe we will find somehow GNU radio version that supports IIO on Windows, or if it does not exist, we'll have to try again on Ubuntu. And to further develop this project, we were thinking funny things, but one was that we kind of wanted to try to drop a drone because we thought drone was wireless signaled object, and if we have bigger antenna, and I don't know if it's okay to do it, but we wanted to see if it works on drones as well, and maybe it could be used for security reasons or somehow later. All right, thank you.
All right, excellent. So for you too, so use the Ubuntu 6.0.
Okay.
If you don't have a computer, I have some limited number of the computers you guys can check out from me. You can install the Ubuntu on top of it. And you can,
Professor?
Yep.
Could we get the Ubuntu 16.5 too?
04 means the LTS is long-term support. So I believe there is a 1604, 1605 is existing. Ubuntu 1605. No, there's only 1604. Is it what you're saying? 1604?
So you said that we need this Ubuntu 16.5?
No, 04 is a 04.
04?
Yeah, 1604 is LTS. LTS, Ubuntu has a many version. The LTS keeps supported by the Ubuntu community. Okay, if that is not 04, then that is just the experimental version. So I highly recommend you to use the LTS version.
Okay, thank you.
So you can also, you guys, if you have a Windows machine, you can install the Dual OS on top of Windows machine. That's how I'm using it, and it is very effective. Right, Jaewon and
Professor,
thank you.
do you recommend to download download Ubuntu for Mac users too? Because I keep having same problems.
What?
I
WSL?
mean, even for Mac users, do you recommend to use Ubuntu?
Mac users, Mac created new issues too. Okay, if you only have a Mac machine, if you don't have any extra machine, I will let you check out my notebooks. I have some extra notebooks, and please borrow it from me.
Okay.
Okay, so Mac OS, I saw many students, I try to follow your guideline. I reinstalled my Mac like 5 times. I saw this so many times. So if you don't have a device prep, then check out for me. Windows subsystem for Linux. So WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux, also doesn't work properly sometimes. So as we are using the hardware, it is the best to use the Ubuntu connected to with the SDR. That's the easiest starting point. You can start with the Windows, you can start with the VM, but you'll face more problems than the others. Okay, second team, team number 4, Minheng and Hojin. Hojin and Minheng, no, maybe we skip them. So team number 5, Roshan and Ub.
Professor?
Yep.
I'm still opening the presentation.
Okay, sure. So let's wait for the Hojin. Let's wait for them 1 minute, and maybe we can break for 1 minute.
Here's our progress for the current being, and for our personal progress, we have installed driver for Pluto on both Windows 10 and macOS Catalina, but well, each of our members have a different OS, as you can see. So it has continuous errors. It has continuous errors, and we plan to use MathWorks to work on it, but well, errors will keep popping up. So as you have said, we would like to install Ubuntu on our devices and use SDR Sharp, and we are still trying to understand the open source codes, and that's the current issue for now. And our future plans, if our issues will get resolved, we would like to make the jammer possible on other frequencies like Bluetooth. And for the specific codes, the other teams have specified them, so we don't have much to talk about them ourselves. And
Oh yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, we keep having problems on MathWorks. Yeah, we just implemented. We keep having this problem implementing Ubuntu and SDR Sharp, and
Okay, thank you. So same recommendation to you. Use the Ubuntu, the right version. All right, so team number 5, Roshan Nulbeck.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is team 5, Roshan and Ulukbek. So far, we are still having problems with the drivers. Initially, we started using it on Windows, but Windows didn't work. And we tried to figure out like the problems, but there was less support for Windows operating system. So we installed Ubuntu on virtual machine in Windows, and we installed Ubuntu 20 or something, and it kind of worked, but connecting like via USB didn't work in VM. So we thought of dual booting with Linux. So we initially installed 20.4, but and we still got some problems. Then there was this firmware upgrade for Pluto SDR, and we installed that also, and still it didn't work. Then for now we are thinking of using Ubuntu 18 because that's the suggestion we received in the internet. And so for future projects, if we had more time, we were interested in making something like a GSM Wi-Fi GSM wireless sniffer, so that we can hear like mobile phone talking, people talking in phones. And the other one was the aeroplane location tracking. So there are some websites that show the real-time location of certain flights. So if we could use some signals from the
number 2 is even simpler.
Yeah. So we were interested in making something like that.
Okay.
Also.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's it for now in our case.
All right. Thank you, Roshan. Okay, Janar, team 6.
Yep.
Yep.
One second. We need to set up my mic. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So, okay. So that's my presentation for CC310. I haven't done that much of a pragmatic progress, but here's my like approach and plans for the final project. So the first problem statement is to develop an RF jammer that can disable LTE and Wi-Fi, right? And my possible solution is to flood the network with packets at similar frequency. And the way I'm going to do this is that since like legally all the devices, all the like network devices are required to beam their ID and information about them, I will use that information to jam the network with packets at similar frequency. So as I said, my approach will be to send packets in a loop for each device detected using the SDR device. And this approach will make sure that like multiple devices are in the effect of jamming. The application of network jamming can be bad, but it also brings its own benefits for special cases. So one of the things that I thought about was to have, if an organization needs to secure the area and protect it from spoofing or spying, a radio jammer can be very handy for that purpose. The second problem statement is the FM radio receiver. So my approach will be to set up the wideband FM, and then I want to run the frequency check, like from lower to high frequency, and find the high peaks. So those high peaks are the FM stations, and then I'll be using the app to convert analog to digital signal and then play it on my computer. For the debugging part, I'm going to be using the AirSpy app to debug my app and see and compare the peaks. And then in terms of code, I'll be using the open source code from Hackaday. The link is included here. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Janar. Any question to Janar? Nope. Okay. All right, so last team 7, 연식 and 승재.
Actually, our team couldn't prepare the presentation.
Okay, then anyway. All right, so for the final project, the best recommendation for the project is if you don't install the app, or if you have struggled to installing it and using the right Ubuntu version, and then best recommendation is that not using VM but using the dual OS booting. That's the easiest way to do. If you have a Windows machine, try to do that. If you cannot find anything and you really want one computer, then I'll check out from it. All right. Okay. Anything else?
Professor?
Nope. Yep.
Do we have the makeup exam?
Makeup exam for what? The second
for
midterm?
the midterm 2, yeah.
Midterm 2. So I will upload the midterm 2 score ASAP. Then I will make decision. So after the score is coming out, we can discuss about it. Okay. So my basic policy is giving more opportunity. Okay. Don't worry too much on it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see. All right. Anything else? So new homework. I postponed the new homework for the 310 because I think I'm giving you too many things for 310. I'm slowing down about the homework. Okay. If you're okay to accept the new homework, I will post it today. But I think I believe you are struggling with the final project, and that's my opinion. I'll make this, and I'll slow it down a little bit. All right. Thanks for coming today. If you have any question, visit my office. I'm staying in my office most of the time. All right. Thank you. Have a good day, and see you on Wednesday.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Professor.